So this next song that we're gonna do, it's an original song actually, and during those times when we were doing the research, trying to extract some of the mele and the songs that come from the native speaker tapes, we're also learning like the patterning, because there's a style that traditional composers used. And they didn't really map it out in that way. You kind of got to overlay and superimpose all of these songs that you're listening to and hearing on the tapes, but also reading in the newspapers, and you find how to author, compose music. And so this next song is one of those that I was still developing. It's a song called Tutu Aloha. And one of the motifs that I was using is that I turned the word aloha. My grandmother's name is Irene Pa'o Jellings, and she's from Molokai. My family is from Puko'o, Molokai. Many of them Duvashels, but Keka'alau Niu and other names from that area. She was like a caregiver to me. And so what I did was, instead of putting Tutu Irene, I put Tutu Aloha, because she was... in that moment, that sign and symbol that in my childhood was where I learned my definition of aloha. And so in that song, and you guys will hear, it was in the forest where I, kind of composed it, thought about it, and it started with a scent. It started with lehua trees and the dancing of an apapane bird, and in that, the Hawaiian motifs automatically started kind of laying out a song. And I was thinking, well, what's the melody? And just started humming, and that's when it comes to you in those moments, because the emotions drive the melody, and the context in that space drove the words. And so it's a song called Tutu Aloha.
I think there's a couple of lines and parts of this song that I really are very well poetically done, very well.
Thank you very much.
One of the lines that I like is within the chorus, where he calls out to this tutu aloha, and refers to her as his pua lehua, that lehua blossom. And the next line I really love. It says, "O ko aloha ka'ue a'ahu mauai," which is that your aloha is the thing that I clothe myself with, or the thing that I put on. And I really love that particular image of clothing ourselves with aloha. And also at the end of this song, I love that he says, "Kupua na pula pula I ka meheo tutu," which is that we blossom best when we walk in the paths, or in the path of our ancestors, or in the path of tutu, which is that path of aloha, which he sets out. So here's a song called Tutu Aloha, and it's hopefully you guys will enjoy. This is the opportunity to hear the stories from the composers beyond what just a regular translation would give you. So, a song called Tutu Aloha that we do for all the tutu out there, but especially Kalehua's Tutu Aloha, Irene Jellings.
All of them, yeah.
Ooh.
do aloha for you folks.
This next song that we're going to do is our most recent release. We released it last year for Mahina Olelo Hawaii. And it's a song called Kaleo Kupuna. And this particular song, to give you a little insight about it, when it was written, how it was written, Kalehua and I wrote this song together. I met him in his office one day. He was, at the time, he was working at UH Manoa. And I said, hey, let's work on a song today. And I had an idea, and we were going to put together our dissertations, the thoughts from our dissertation. So my dissertation was about using music as a tool of empowerment. And his dissertation was about looking at our Hawaiian frameworks in our stories, in our traditional stories, in order to create meaningful curriculum for our students here in Hawaii. And so we kind of combined our topics, and we wrote this song called Kaleo Kupuna, a song that calls out to our language and says for us to have the language as a to come and be with us and to be continue to fill the mouths of our young ones. So I showed up in his office, and we both wrote at the same time. So it started with just a beat. I said, okay, this is what I'm hearing for the song, something like this. And my idea was, I said, even though it's a song about in the Hawaiian language, that we were going to tip our cap to some of those groups of the Hawaiian music renaissance, like the Peter Moon Band, like Sons of Hawaii, like Sande Manoa, Olomana. And we were going to, in essence, be grateful to them for the great work that they did to ensure that a lot of the things that we enjoy now, that they know how grateful we are for the fight that they went through to make Hawaiian language available, to make sure that we, as younger Hawaiians, would know who we are as young Kanaka. And so within the song, we entered some meaning. So that feel that I just played was similar to what you would have heard the Peter Moon Band, Kaulana Nā Pua, right? But then I had the idea, I said, hey, Kalehua, I'm thinking like we can work in some music stuff where even there's more meaning in the music, where I said, I'm going to play a part in the song where in the solo, I'm going to have it sound one little tiny section, just a couple bars where I'm going to make it sound like Kavika, which you'll hear, which Peter Moon played Kavika, and that song was huge for our Renaissance from the Sande Manoa. And if you listen to the lyrics in that particular part of the song, Kalehua uses the term or the line kaheke o nā pua, which is the choicest of the flowers, right? And that comes straight from Kavika. So all those little things that are in the song add to the meaning, and even for us, and that's how as composers we write songs, is a way to not just write a song and tell our story, although that's what we want to do, capture how we're feeling now, but it's also to acknowledge the work of the people that came before us. So stylistically, this song was put together to honor those musicians that worked so hard. And Kalehua, why don't you talk about the second verse where it talks about how we give the language?
The idea that you're going to hear pu'a ia i ka wahau na kamali'i. And the word pu'a, it comes from nature. It's like how birds digest their food, and then the mother feeds the babies the digested food out of her mouth. And we're utilizing that to be that metaphor that we're building, that the language is the food that we're feeding from our mouth to our children. And so that's basically the essence of the whole song. And so in that one line, we kind of close the circle on the meaning of what Kaleo Kupuna is trying to say. That's all. And
the last line, e ola kako i ka leo nā kupuna. So we as Hawaiian people truly live, and we can exist because of understanding our language. That's what helps us to understand our worldview, what makes us different than any other person.
And it's a slight difference. You guys heard of Ola Ka'olelo Hawaii, the Hawaiian language lives. That's kind of a common mantra. What this is adding in a slight difference. Ola Ika Olelo Hawaii means that we live because of understanding our language. So the language living is a little bit, the nuance is a little different. Ola Kaolo Hawaii, the language lives. Ola Ika Olo Hawaii, we live because of it. And that's,
We
and
are
that's
here.
that
We
last line.
exist
Yeah.
because of it. Anyways,
We're going to sing it. Kaleo kupuna, everybody. Wow.
Blake and I grew up listening to this next song, the style of music, this song written by Matty Lamb and Mary Kavena Pukui, for that beautiful lehua variety there at the top of Nu'uanu is called the ahihi lehua. And this particular lehua is one that grows very low. It's not one that grows very tall. And part of that is because it has adapted over time with all the wind that's up there. It wanted to stay closer to the land so that it could continue to survive. So here's a song called Pua Ahihi, another classic in Hawaiian music.
Such a beautiful song, and whenever I do it, Kamala mentioned about Uncle Kimo and how big of an influence he was to both of us. Obviously, that's his dad, but we have a special person in the audience tonight with Kamala's mama.
That's right. Right next to my student Dewey and Ryan in the back. Good to see you guys.
We'd like to dedicate this song to Auntie Mama.
So this is for Mom. A song called Pua Ahihi.
The story behind this song is that He Aloha no Ohalava is taking all of the wind names. So a part of like just composing music, you gotta have a purpose. You know, you try to put an intent into writing, and one of the things that music is like mnemonic devices, and just it helps you remember and build a database of information. Because sometimes you think like, and I think as a Hawaiian language speaker, there are certain grammatical patterns that, you know, kai no a'ovau vale no kai ike, e yaka. Kai no e yaka is a grammatical pattern you learn at a university, and I could almost forget it. But when I sing that song, kai no a'ovau vale no kai ike, e yaka, and I remember those mnemonic devices that songs possess, and the information that's held within the songs is what we were trying to do with this song. And so it's actually taking all of the wind names from Halawa Molokai, and Hawaiian names have meaning anyway. So like the ehukai is a wind from Halawa, but the ehukai is also the mist that comes off of the ocean. And so we took the meaning of the word for which the wind was named, and we put it into sentencing in the lyrics of the song. So listing all of the wind names, but through the lyrics.
Describing them.
Yeah, describing them.
Through the lyrics.
Yeah.
And like he said, you know, our music as Hawaiian people really is, this is where we can get very nerdy, but it's a part of our collective consciousness, right? It's our collective music is our collective memory. It's how we remember a lot of the things that happened in the past, you know, Ku'upui Paua Kalani, when Lili'uo Kalani wrote that. There's so much information in that song. In fact, I have a couple of students who are here today, Neil and, you know, others. Ku'upui Paua Kalani, I do a whole class just on that song because there's so much information in it, you know. And our songs really are a housing for a lot of our collective memories as a people. And what we need to do, and what Kalehua did with this song, is make sure that we acknowledge that we as Hawaiians are still alive today, and our collective memories for our generation matters too. So it's important that not only do we remember the voices of the past, but we acknowledge, and this is what our Kaleo Kupuna was about also, is the idea that all of us, you know, no matter how old or young we will one day become kupuna. And we need to acknowledge that it's important for us to speak to speak about our time, so that when our kids and our grandkids are looking at our music and our time period, that we're saying something that's meaningful and valuable to them. Kaka
He aloha no ohalava. Mahalo.
One cool thing about that particular song as well is that Kalehua wrote that song in that style that, you know, it wouldn't really be considered a traditional classical Hawaiian song, right? But also what is being taught even in the writing of that song and what is being said is that as we have more language speakers, Hawaiian language speakers, as they learn not just to speak the language, but learn to compose, there is opportunities, and Hawaiian language belongs in every genre. It's not restricted to one particular sound, but our language can be a part of any genre of music. We don't have that box.
Tonight, Molokai, I'm longing for your laughter. I gaze upon your silent shores, reminisce that sweet embrace of ginger. As New York City walls closed in, I long for the touch of an island. Molokai, Molokai, sweet home. So to rest your weary eyes, your smiles and the lullabies in the evening time. It's been so long since I've been home. Miss that morning sunrise, the countryside. I've come so far to find my way, and this time I think I'll stay. Sweet home. since I've been home. I miss that morning sunrise, the countryside. I've come so far to find my way, and this time I think I'll stay with an island. Molokai, Molokai.
As I travel from place to place, some familiar and some strange, to hear the ancient chantings of our home. As I listen to the stories, my eyes have seen the glory. So let us raise our voice in song to save our land. All Hawaii stands together. It is now and forever to raise your voices and hold your banners high. We shall stand as a nation to guide the destiny of our generation, to sing and praise the glory of our land. Within stone walls, the cities of refuge, we learn the sacred ways. Upon YPO's valley floor, the ancient battles rage. From the barren slopes of Kaho'ula Bay to the shores of Kahana Bay, we shall claim our land on the barking sands to the valleys of Honolulu. All Hawaii stands together. It is now and forever to raise your voices and hold your banners high. We shall stand as a nation to guide the destiny of our generation, to sing and praise the glory of our land. From the fiery pit of Tutupele, I hear my mother's call. Oh, Tutukane and Mauna Kea, send their love to all, to stand as one beneath the sun. Blessings from Haleakala, oh, our sweet Ka'ala and Waiale'ale, where the greatest waters fall. Hawaiiloa, Hawaiiloa, ke kako kupa me kralo kahie kukala me kavivale oni pa akako alana kila na kinie eola na kinie. Kako kupa ame kalo kahie kukala me kavivale oni pa akako alana kila na kinie eola na kinie.
This song was where we actually got the name for our group. He wrote the song, and it meant so much to us that the name of our group came from this song. So go ahead, why don't you tell us about this particular song?
Yeah. So Kuhoa Hi'ikua literally means my friend that carries me on his back, or opposite, or that I carry on my back. And so it's meant to be ambiguous, because this is a song written on the night that my dad was diagnosed with the cancer that ended up taking his life. And so it's very emotional, I think, for me at that time. And I still have to take deep breaths today explaining a song, but it's good to talk about it. But in that song, the words that we choose, the melody, you guys, if you heard the song before, it's not supposed to be sad. It kind of supposed to be somber and then get happier and peaceful at the end. So I hope it feels that way for you folks. But the words are really about describing the idea of transitioning responsibilities that, as a child you get carried, but as you grow up, you end up becoming the carrier sometimes in whatever way, physical, spiritual, emotional, you carry. And that this song is about that aspect of life. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that like you said, he left that part particularly ambiguous. The title Ku'uhoahi Ikua doesn't say who's carrying who. And with that acknowledgement that, like he said, when the kid's young, parent carries. As the parent gets older, the kids carry. And what we continue to do with this song is, even though his father is no longer physically with us, we still carry him with us. And we still carry all of our ancestors and those who we love with us. And I love in the chorus of this song, he sings the words, Iloko no'u ko wahi e mauai, which is like, it's truly inside of me, the place where you will always dwell. And while he's singing that, in the harmony you'll hear, he sings Iloko no ko wahi e mauai, and we echo Maue forever. Yeah, and I love that. He also says that this is the love that's going to last, forever. In the last verse of this song, just to give you, because this concert is conducive to this type of conversation, in the last verse, there's actually a call out to him. And the line is, Kehea ia mai nei koinoa aiva, which is we call out your name. And when we arranged the song, when we first started arranging it, we were going to sing the harmony straight through that. And we decided that the call had to come from him. So you'll hear in that particular verse, he sings Kehea ia, and we come in on the mai nei, which is we're here, like we're right here, close, and join him in that. And the last line of the song is, so my song is told about. Well, why don't you explain the last line of the song?
Well, okay. So traditionally, when a person passes away, for the guys that know tradition, you stop calling them by their earthly name, and then you give them a spirit name. And so on the last line, Ke ala maluhia kane makua. And so kane makua is kind of it's a spiritual motif. It's a real form of the ancestor Kane. But Kane Makua means the Kane, who's a parent, and it's all of the essence and the feel that comes from what parents do. And so I utilize that name, Kane Makua. Makua Kane means father, but just flip it around, Kane Makua. It's a good little play on words that Keala Maluhia Kane Makua. That's his new name. That's his spirit name. Yeah.
And it was that path that led towards the eventual peace. Yeah, the Maluhia. So really, it is a song that when we first heard it, we're like, wow, that's really good. And it was, when he sang it for us, we really liked it. And the meaning behind it of carrying our ancestors with us, Hi'ikua is also the place where our ancestors dwell. We carry them with us. And I think all of us have gone through those types of gone through that caring process for those people that we love. And some that I know even in the room who have gone through that process. And so we do this song for each and every one of you. It's song called Ku'uhoahi Ikua.
Haina ku